Hello everyone, thank you for coming today. I hope you enjoyed the lunch and you are not bored yet with other sessions. Today we're going to talk about automation and AppV. And it's not the part of automating the sequencing of your applications. It's automating the task of customizing and editing the packages once you already have them. There are multiple scenarios here, as you will see in the future in the slides. First, a few words about me. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a product manager at Cafe1, where we build advanced installer. Been working with the team for more than 7 years, and the product is released since 2004. It started as a tool for software developers initially that need to build their MSIs. And with your feedback, for which we are very recognizable, we've added support for repackaging, MSI editing, and transforms, and the latest additions for AppV and AppX. So basically you can import, edit, and generate any of those packages mentioned on the schema, or create them from scratch when you have an in-house application developed by your company. The advantage is that once you convert an application to advanced installer, you get a project which you can then use to generate, be it an MSI, an AppV, or an AppX package for the Universal Windows platform on Windows 10. So you don't have to repeat the operation of capturing, sequencing the package all over again for each new package type. Now we'll get back to our main talk from today. TweakAppV is the name of the tool that we're going to present to you. It was released yesterday publicly on our website. You can go and download it for free. Not like Advanced Installer, for which you have to pay. This is a free tool, and will remain like this, that allows you to customize AppV packages 5.x. So if you have older versions, you need to first convert them and then customize those. You will get the slides at the end, so you can keep the pictures too. And it allows you to customize AppV5x packages using some of our predefined commands. Like the most simple one is to add files, registry, customize an attribute from your manifest. And these are something for which we've implemented predefined commands. But there are scenarios that we cannot foresee. And for this case, we allow you to apply an XSL transform on the content of your manifests from the package, so you can modify practically anything in that package, as long as you make a valid change, as you will see in the future, in the demos that I have for you today. I'm going to start with the complex demo, so I can skip over it then. It's going to show you how to run a batch, to process a batch of packages, and the time it saves you. For this demo, I have only 7 packages because we don't have all the time in the world. And the idea is that you convert packages for 4.6 to 5, and then you need to add Windows 10 as supported on the list. Or you already have a package that, I don't know, for a set of packages that for some reason don't support Windows 10. And you don't want to edit all those packages, start the wizard from the sequencer, click next, 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 just to check a checkbox and then save the package. That takes time, it's error prone, you can break something else in the package, and it's annoying after you do it for 10, 20 packages. Even if you have more packages, then it's really a waste of time. I'm gonna exit a little bit. So in this case, we have a simple sorry, one moment. Displays don't want to duplicate. Okay. So we have a simple PowerShell script that goes to a folder we specified there, downloads demo folder. It searches for all the packages with the extension appv, and then it executes our tool for each of the package. And it's really simple, just call the executable, you specify the command update, then the path of the package, and the command that you want to perform on the package. In this case, it's a transform manifest. As you will see in the help of the command line, you must specify the name of one of the manifests that you want to modify. In this case, is the Apex manifest, and then the transform that you want to apply on the package. And in this case, the transform can vary from a very simple one to a more complex one, as in this example here. So here is the standard. It may seem complicated at the end, but when you start from the samples that we have included in the kit of this tool, you will see that most of the parts can be copied and then just adjusted for your scenarios. So in the beginning, you need to declare the schemas that you are using to validate the packages, the manifests, and then customize your transform, be it by defining the parameters that you want to accept for it, and specify what you want to do with it. In this case, we want to find the target OS, so we're searching for it. And then we update this OS, and then we see if it's already added in the package. And basically, the transform, what it does, it rewrites the manifest XML from scratch all over again. So besides adding the new OS that you want to the list, you must make sure that you don't delete the rest of the manifest file. So you also want to copy that part of the contents just exactly as it is in the file. So this part is done here. So this part basically you copy for each of your manifest XSL files that you do. And then rewrite back everything. Here we've done some sorting and stuff, so the manifest looks better when you start looking at it and try to make sure it's okay. And this, as I said, this XSL is called from the Powershell script that we have here. So we're just gonna start the script. So the script now goes through each folder, each package from the folder, and we'll start extracting the package, applies the commands, the transforms, updates on it, packages back, and leaves it into the same folder. So it's going to override the packages. This will take some time. We have some packages I'm going to show you here from 3 megabytes to over 1 gig. Some of them there are 7 or 6 packages, from what I remember. And until this runs, we're going to show you some simple commands like adding a file or updating an XML node. These are the predefined commands and are a little bit different from running an XSL and more simple for you to start with them. And because it's easier, I'm going to copy the commands. Okay, and the first command is to simply add a file. So you see the same parameter update, then the package that we want to update, and the command is very simple. You say add file, where you want to add the file, including its final name. And you see the name is different from the source and the source of the file that you have on the disk. And here it's extracting the package, adding the file in the archive, then modifying the correspondent manifests from XML from the package, and builds all that back. And we can check this package in demo commands. That's the WinRAR package, I think. Here we're using the graphical user interface of Advanced Installer that allows us to also edit packages, but this is not really scalable when you want to automate it for 100 packages. You had a question? Yes, do you need to have the Microsoft application sequencer? No, you don't have any dependencies from any Microsoft. So the tool, TweakAppV itself, you can find it if you download the latest version of Advanced Installer, or you can download it separately from our website from the link I specified. Only the tool, nothing else. I'm going to talk about the implementation details a little bit later to explain why you don't need the tools from Microsoft. And even for Advanced Installer itself, you don't need anything from Microsoft. So we go here and we can see the file added test any from our source. Okay. The next one, it's about setting a manifest in the setting a node text in a manifest file. And the same as before, it's quite simple. You see the command update, then set node text, specify the manifest that you want to update. And here the only difference is that you need to specify the XPath of the element of the node text from your XML file. In this case, we're just changing the publisher, and I'm going to show you before. This is the package for paint.net. The publisher now should be set to Caffeon, and we'll change that to AppManagEvent. So you see here. And now after we execute the command, you see here that for every command that we execute, it extracts the package, applies the changes, and builds it back. Keep that in mind for the next example, where this will be a little bit different, to understand why we also did that. So now let's open the package again. The editor, it was built on our support for editing MSI packages. So for those of you that are really used with the sequencer UI, some things might seem different, but we're trying to reuse our UI and not build it all from scratch. So we see the change was applied easily. And now the last manual example will be by executing a commands file. The difference here is that you want to execute a set of those predefined commands, including applying an XSL transform if you want that, all at once. But you don't want to extract the package, apply the command that adds the file, then build it back, then extract the package, add a registry, and do that again for 100 commands, because it's going to waste a lot of time, and the purpose of the tool is itself to save you time. So for this, we designed a support that to build commands file. And any command file must start with that TWC commentary, and then you specify the commands one by one that you want. In this case, we're adding a registry key, then a registry value, basically a file association for WinRAR with extension AME. Then we update the package history and specify which engine was used, in this case the tool, to make sure that it was to differentiate from changes that you do with the sequencer. And you also have an option to increase the version. If you use the auto parameter, it will automatically increment the version and change the IDs, but you can also specify your own customized IDs. We had a user requesting this, and probably others in the future. And you can specify either a custom one or let it run automatic. And here you'll see a slight difference, is that here it says batch file update instead of simple update, because it loads the commands file and executes those commands from the package. And as you can see, it extracts the package at the beginning, then executes each of the commands, and only then at the end it packages all that. So it doesn't waste time doing all the extraction and packaging, which for some of the packages, if we look now, maybe, here, these are the bigger one, primary test and SIMF, which have 700 megabytes or over 1 gigabyte, can take more time. So with the commands file, it's really useful to be used in such kind of scenarios to avoid wasting time on this. Okay, these are the hands-on example. The packages that I said, I think they're finished. Yes. So this took us about 7 or 8 minutes to pass through these packages. Only 2 or 3 gigabytes of packages, depends on how large the packages are. For some of them, like WinRAR, which is really small, it's almost instant, the changes are applied, but for others it takes time. The only time it's lost on extracting and packaging the file. So the powerful the machine is, this has an SSD and i5, so it's not really very powerful. But the powerful the machine is, the faster the operations go. So if you have 100, 200 packages, that can be really visible in the time that it takes. It can take a day or it can take 3 days. Depends on how fast or slow the machine it is. And the idea is that it doesn't only save you time and a little bit of mental health from doing the same task 100 times again. It also helps you to eliminate errors, because every time a human does the same thing over and over again, errors might appear. It's natural. So, one moment. Okay. Now we're going to talk about its internal details a little bit, how the tool works inside. So there are three main phases: the extraction, the changes when they are applied, and the construction of the package back. All of them are important, but the most important are in the middle area. Here you can see how the extraction of basically we keep the same structure of the contents of the AppV package, which I'm sure that most of you are familiar with. And we extract the package in the temp folder, and then we start applying the change underneath. To extract the package, here you ask me about the tools from Microsoft. So we are using a zlib library. It's a library used for compression, because the package is practically a zip archive. So we were using the library, which is available to be used in a third-party application, and our own API on top of that to extract the package and to also build it back. And because we are using this library, you can use the tool on down to, more to say, Vista SP2. So no matter if you start from there on, you can use the tool on any OS. You don't need to install any other thing than 5 megabytes. I think it's not bigger than that, the tool, so it's very lightweight. Okay. Updating the package content. This is a multi-stage operation and takes more time and a little bit more complicated. So basically we are loading first we are loading the XML files, and adding the files is simpler, because once we extract them in the temp folder, basically we just do like a copy operation and put the files in the new package content that we have in the temp folder. So that's really simple, it's nothing complicated. For the manifest files, we load the content in a DOM structure in the memory of the application, and all the changes are applied at runtime. So we don't do a save for after every change to do many file input-output operations to make the process more slow. And that is done applying XSL transforms using the library from Microsoft MS XML. Okay, the same for registry, which is a little bit more complicated, because the first time when we started adding support for AppV, we actually had to do reverse engineering and to learn how the Microsoft sequencer was building the registry.dat file, because there was no public documentation. I don't think now there is either. But starting from last year, or maybe a little bit sooner, Microsoft released a library. It's called Offline, that allows you to handle registry from your C++.NET application or any other kind of application. Registry files in the format used by AppV. So basically we use that library to load the registry from the package, then apply the changes in memory. Again, simple import, export, update. You can virtualize the registry as deleted. You can say merge this registry with an existing key, all the options that you have in the package, and then save that registry.file back again. The changes, as I said, are saved to XML files on disk after you finish that, and each manifest file is saved directly. Nothing very complicated on this side. After we save the packages, we apply validation following the same schemas used by the sequencer. So if by mistake you do something bad in the package, it will cancel the entire operation that you executed until that stage. So it will not break the package. It breaks the one that is in the temp folder, but it doesn't break the original one. So that's okay. You can start again from scratch. But it's easy. It's better in the beginning to have a copy of them when you're testing, especially if you're building a transform or something where you can modify something from the package and then break something in it. The only difference is that For the content type XML and the package history XML manifest from the package, we couldn't find any of those schemas. I don't know if there are in the sequencer or where are they, because Microsoft is very secretive on this side. So make sure that if you do changes, other changes than our predefined commands like update package history, package version, you've modified those and make sure those packages are valid. Otherwise, you might get a corrupt package. Once the validation is passed, we generate the new package from the temp folder content and replace the original one. Okay. As I've shown you before when we started in the beginning of the presentation, you can start from any exe or MSI to generate an AppV, either with a sequencer or with advanced installer. And for that, we have the repackager that allows you, it's practically our version of the sequencer. That's why we do not depend from the Microsoft tools in any operation that you do with advanced installer. And this one also has a command line version to automate when you want to convert multiple packages. It also has a graphical user interface that's it makes it much easier to use when you start with the tool for the first time. Once you have the packages, once again you turn back to tweak AppV to modify any package you want. And in this case, we recommend the tool to be used only if you have lots of packages, because it's not feasible to write a complicated XSL file and spend maybe a few hours to debug it to make sure the file is valid and applies the changes correctly, and then to modify only 10 packages or 5, because it's not really a time saver in this case. And the UI editor that I showed you before that basically can load the AppV package, so you can apply the same changes that you apply with the tweak AppV tool. You can also apply manually and also save a little bit more time than you would do with the sequencer. More besides this, there are also supports for MSIs, transforms, but that's not the topic of today. This session was a little bit more shorter, so if you don't forget to fill in the session review and make sure you mention the code. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer you. If not, you can contact me later. Yes? Yes, of course. I can show you the commands available. We can just run the tool. General? Again, sorry. I don't know, Windows 10 likes to play pranks on me. Okay. Keep settings. Okay, so here it doesn't have enough space. So basically you start the update and batch updates commands that allows you to run on a command or a batch file. And then here are the valid commands. And it has update package history, package version, add file, update file if you already have the file, because if you try to I don't know. Let me select all. It's visible. Yeah, perfect. So the update file, you use it when the file is already present, because if you try to say add file 2 times, the second time it'll tell you the file is already in the package. So you have update file, del file, script file. It has the script in the package, and then you just specify when to be executed. Set node text, as I showed you, for the directly manipulating the XML files, new element. There are multiple commands for the manifests.
Change things in shortcuts, or for instance, remove
File associations. Basically, you need to modify also the manifests, and I don't know if it's something it's stored in the registry in this case. If it's only in the manifest file, then you can do that easily. So you just need to write a transform, because we don't have a predefined command. We are trying to add these commands as we go, because we don't know exactly what you guys want to do. So we didn't want to spend time inventing something that is not used. So that's why we added the support to execute the transform as it is in there. So basically with the transform, you can modify any of the manifests that are specified as parameters and alter the content. You can delete the entire manifest if you really want that, but you will end up with an invalid package. Then there are some of the most used commands for registry, like setting it at virtualized, creating or deleting the registry value, and all of that. And there have been requests for updating also the configuration files next to the packages. That is currently not supported, but we are planning to add that in a future version. But that you can already do because the library that we are using from Microsoft, MX XML, can be downloaded as a free tool from Microsoft, so you can also run that separately and apply your own transform on the manifest. So it's not a blocker for you guys if you did that. Any other questions? Okay, thank you. If you have more questions, you can find us by the booth. If not, these are our contact details. I'm going to give the slides to our colleagues from PDS so you can receive them by email. Thank you.